Lord Jesus Christ, and welcome to St. Cyril Methodius Orthodox Church. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor, and it is just about 10 after 4 here in Madison, Wisconsin, and we'll have Vespers starting in about 50 minutes, about 5 o'clock. What's going on here today? Well, a lot of big news. Of course, there was that kerfluffle in D.C. at the Supreme Court. But the big news here in Madison, of course, is that we had our first really heavy snow last night, picked up between 3 and 7 inches, depending on where you were. So that's very exciting, lots of snow. But I did want to speak just a minute about that kerfluffle over in D.C. at the Supreme Court. It was President Trump's last attempt to get the judiciary to overturn or somehow throw into question the legitimacy of Vice President, now clearly President-elect Joe Biden's victory on Election Day. And I don't really want to comment on the court case as such, but I do want to maybe say some things that I've noticed just in listening and reading, and especially things that I've heard from Orthodox Christians. One of the things that concerns me is that a lot of what I heard really rises almost to the level of clinical paranoia. I'm not a clinician, I'm an academic psychologist, which means, basically I have no clinical skills, or a license to practice, but that's all right, I don't want to do that. But what I have noticed is that a lot of Orthodox Christians are really, really upset. And I understand that nobody likes to lose. Nobody likes to lose an election. And certainly there are reasons to be concerned about a Biden-Harris administration. But a lot of times people are really angry, and I'm not sure how helpful that is. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be even a little grieved, but that anger and that really rises to the level of bile and unpleasant comments about other people, that's not really helpful. I'm trying to figure out where that came from, and I'm really not sure. One of my professors in graduate school, a clinician named Dick Knowles, said that those experiences of paranoia come from a deficit in the sense of the trustfulness of the world. We distrust the world, and so we begin to look for reasons to ratify our lack of trust. Now, to be sure, as Christians, we have some concerns about the world. We understand that the world which is fallen is not our friend, or at least is not always our friend, and is frequently the antagonist of the church. That doesn't preclude at least occasions where the church and the world can cooperate. But generally, for the most part, what we love and what the world loves are very different. So I don't want to suggest that the world is just our buddy or our friend in some sort of we should accept this sort of uncritically. But the fact of the matter is, the church always stands in opposition to the world. And I think what's happened is, frankly, for a very long time, Christians, especially in America, have become very comfortable with the world. We created sort of a society, a culture for ourselves where we were in charge, and that made us, I think, indifferent or even blind to the ways in which power was exercised unjustly, the way in which sin held sway even in American society. As I've said to people in the past, I understand that people have all sorts of concerns about, trans women using women's restroom. Of course, when I was a boy, when I was born in Texas in 1960, lynching was still a possibility. I got to tell you, given my choice between lynching and trans women in women's restroom, I'd be hard pressed to say the latter is really some sort of great fall relative to the former. The world has always fallen. The world is never the friend of the church in any guaranteed or absolute sense. The problem is not that Christians are anxious or suspicious of the world today, but that we weren't yesterday. We always need to keep a certain distance from the world and from the things of this world. And this is what Jesus tells us, be in the world, but not of it. I suspect that one of the reasons that so many of us are upset as a result of the Supreme Court case is because, to be very direct with you, I think we have placed our faith in the wrong place. Whatever might be said good or bad for President Trump, whatever might be said good or bad for President Biden. In neither of these men do we find our salvation. Rather, we find our salvation in Jesus Christ and in the life of the church. So if you are shattered by the Supreme Court case, let me suggest that you consider, where have you placed your love? Where have you placed your treasure? If you place your love, if you place your treasure in Jesus Christ, that will never be taken away from you. But if you place it in politics and cultural issues, let me assure you, you will always lose. Well, people are starting to arrive for Vespers, and that starts in about 45 minutes, so I better get to work. Anyway, hope to see you at 5 o'clock. If you're not here in person, then maybe join us online. And as always, give us a thumbs up or a heart, make a comment, just so that we know you're there. Got a little thumbs up there from someone on Facebook. Yay, thank you. And tomorrow morning, we'll have liturgy for the Feast of St. Andrew the Apostle, starting at 9:30, and hope you can join us either here or online. So until then, till about 5 o'clock for Vespers, hope you're well. God bless everyone, and bye-bye.